let's talk about adding stitches to your knits. And the first one that we're going to be talking about is yarn over. So we have a washcloth with making yarn overs. It's very cute, very nice Christmas present. So we're going to knit until we get to that space, or whatever stitch you're making, until we get to the space where we want to make the yarn over. So okay, I want the yarn over to be before those four in the center. To accomplish that is that you bring your yarn to the front and then you keep on knitting, and see that yarn is going over your needle. So therefore you're adding another stitch. So let's go and knit to where I want the other yarn over. So I knitted those four and I want another yarn over here. So we bring the yarn to the front and keep on knitting. See that yarn is going over my needle and creating a new stitch. So that is one way. Another way of making a new stitch is, see, it's very similar to the yarn overs because it leaves those holes and it's very decorative if that's what you wish. So you go to the space where you want your new stitch and you're going to pick up that strand in the middle of the two stitches and either knit directly from there, which is not difficult to do, or you can go to the space where you want it and pick up that strand, put it on top of your left needle and knit it from there. Either way is okay, but you make a new stitch and it does leave a little hole, a gap. Now when you're making one, you're going to have less of a hole than if you yarn over. See, when you yarn over, you're creating a new stitch. And when you make one, you're picking up a strand in between two stitches. So it's not as pronounced. But it looks pretty also. Now, if I want to add a stitch by knitting front and back of one stitch, please beware that the added stitch looks like a purl. See, like that one there, and like that one there. So therefore, when you knit on this side, you're going to add on the stitch before, like my marker, and the one before my marker. That means if you want to add at the beginning of your row, you're going to knit front and back of that first stitch, and you're going to knit front and back of the one before last. So let's do that. So I'm going to knit to the space where I want my added stitch, which is right there. So I'm going to knit front, and then I put my needle to the back and I pick up the back of that stitch and I knit it through the back. So let's do that again. I'm going to knit the four in the middle, but that's where I want to have my added stitch. So I'm going to knit front and back of that stitch, and now I can keep on going. And so I have the added stitches right there, that shows like a purl, and right there, and I have my four stitches in the middle. Now, to make a stitch, which is make one leaning to the right, you are going to pick up that strand in between your two stitches, and you're going to pick up that strand from the back. That means like so. And your short leg is in the front. So you're going to knit that stitch through the front, and now you have a new stitch. So let's do the leaning to the left. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it right here. So if you want to have it leaning to the left, you're going to pick up that strand from the front to the back. So the long leg is in the front, and you're going to knit the stitch through the back. And that really, the new stitch doesn't show. It really doesn't. It's almost like invisible. And those are the ways to, do stitch. So let's do that again. If you have it, if you want leaning to the right, you're going to pick up your stitch from the back to the front, and then you are going to, the long leg is in the back, and you're going to knit it from front to back so it's crossed. So if you want it leaning to the left, you're going to pick up that strand from the front to the back, and the long leg is in the front, so you're going to knit it through the back. And that's it. And thank you very much for watching. Please share us with your friends and like our page and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.